everyone, and welcome to today's deep dive. We're going to get up close and personal with something that has a big impact on everyone's financial life.
Your credit report.
You got it! We're going on a mission to fix those sneaky errors that love hiding in our credit reports.
And a lot of people think that they can't do anything about those errors,
Oh, yeah.
like they're set in stone or something.
They are not.
But that couldn't be further from the truth.
The truth, it's not just numbers on a page either.
Well,
It's about real-life consequences.
exactly.
Like, what if you are trying to buy a house and you apply for a mortgage and you get denied?
Oh.
And you don't even realize it's because there's an error on your credit report.
It's the worst.
The worst.
Yeah.
Or how about you apply for a loan and all of a sudden the interest rate is
Sky high.
super high because you're considered high risk.
Yep.
And you have no idea why.
Because of an error.
An error! I mean, it's enough to make anyone want to run and hide.
Totally.
So the craziest thing is that a study by the Federal Trade Commission
Oh, yeah, the FTC.
found that 1 in 5 Americans
Wow.
have an error on their credit report.
That's 20%.
That is wild.
1 in 5.
It's highly likely that there's something on your credit report that needs to be fixed.
Absolutely. And these errors can be super subtle, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's not always like a huge mistake.
Right.
Sometimes it's like this tiny little,
Ticking time bomb.
yeah, just quietly eating away at your credit.
So let's get into it. What are some of the most common errors that we need to look out for? In our research, we found some really interesting ones.
Yeah, so a super common error is incorrect personal information.
Oh.
So it's not just like a misspelled address. I mean,
not.
like a wrong digit in your social security number.
Oh, gosh.
Or even like a completely different birth date on your file.
Hmm.
Like that could mean that your information got mixed up with somebody else's, or even worse.
Identity theft.
Yeah,
Oh, that makes me want to check every single detail
for sure.
on my report.
Triple check it.
Yeah.
And then there's also duplicate accounts,
Oh.
where the same debt is listed like multiple times.
Ugh.
So imagine you're working so hard to pay down your credit card balance,
Right.
but it shows up twice on your report.
Oh, no.
So it looks like you owe way more than you actually do.
And that impacts your store.
Big time.
Okay. And then the scariest one,
Oh, yeah.
accounts that don't even belong to you.
Ugh. That sends chills down my spine.
It's like finding out you have a secret twin who spends money like crazy.
Right. You're responsible for all this debt you didn't even create.
So those are the errors, but how do they even happen? Is this like a conspiracy against our finances?
Well, it's not quite that dramatic, but it is a combination of things.
Okay.
Sometimes it really is as simple as human error,
Like what?
like a data entry mistake by a lender.
Oh, I see.
Maybe someone just typed in the wrong number or accidentally put your payment on the wrong account.
Yeah.
It happens more than you think.
Well, with so many transactions happening every day, I can see how things could slip through the cracks.
For sure. And there are also system glitches
Oh, right.
that can happen when your info is being transferred
Yeah.
between different companies.
Oh, like a big game of telephone.
Yeah. Where your data gets messed up along the way.
So it's human error and technology not always playing nice.
Exactly. And then sometimes it's just outdated information
Oh.
that hasn't been updated.
Like if you closed an account and it's still showing up as open on your report.
Exactly.
And then that hurts your score.
Right. So we know that these errors are common and they can have serious consequences.
Yes.
But the question is, what can we actually do about it?
We're not going to just sit here and let these errors control our financial future.
Oh, no.
So what do we do?
Well, you have the power to take control.
Ah, okay. I like that.
It all starts with getting a copy of your credit report.
Oh, yeah. And remember, everyone, you have the right to a free credit report from each of the 3 major credit bureaus.
Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion.
Yes. Every single year. And don't just settle for one.
No,
Get all 3.
you need all 3 because
Yeah.
the information can be different between them.
Yes, it
Oh.
can vary.
Okay.
And you can go to annualcreditreport.com to get your reports.
That's the best place to go.
I like to think of it as a free annual financial checkup.
I love that.
Okay, so you got your reports. What's next?
Well, now it's time to put on your detective hat
Okay, I'm ready.
and carefully comb through those reports.
For any little error.
Yes. Think of it like a treasure hunt.
I love that.
But instead of gold,
Right.
you're looking for errors.
Errors
Okay.
that are costing you money.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm ready to go on this treasure hunt.
Okay, so you want to focus on a few key areas.
Okay.
You want to scrutinize all of your personal information for any inconsistencies or typos.
Okay.
You want to double check the status of each account,
Okay.
make sure they're accurately reflected,
Gotcha.
and then meticulously review your payment history
Ooh.
to make sure there are no late payments there that shouldn't be there.
So basically, I need to make sure that everything on the report actually lines up with my financial history.
Precisely.
And don't forget to pay attention to the account balances and the credit limits.
Yeah, that's important
Okay.
because any little discrepancies there could throw off your credit utilization ratio.
And that is a major part of your score.
Huge.
Okay, so I'm sensing that being very detail-oriented is important here.
Very.
What if I find an error? Do I just, like, circle it and hope for the best?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
This is where documentation comes in.
Okay.
It's your best friend.
It's my best friend. What kind of documentation are we talking about here?
So anything that can back up your claim,
Okay.
bank statements, payment receipts,
Gotcha.
credit card statements, loan payoff letters,
Oh, wow.
anything that proves that the error is legit.
It's like I'm presenting a case in court.
Yeah. The more evidence, the better.
Okay, I've got my evidence.
Okay.
What's next?
You have to file a formal dispute with the credit bureau. I
Oh.
want to be super clear
Okay.
about what the errors are
Sure.
and provide all that juicy documentation.
And is there a specific process? I'm picturing like a mountain of paperwork.
It's actually way easier than you think.
Oh, good.
You can usually file a dispute online, by mail, or even over the phone. The important thing is to be very clear and concise in your explanation. Provide all your documentation and tell them how you want the errors to be fixed.
So it's being organized and knowing what I want.
Yeah. Think of it like a really good presentation.
Oh, I like that.
So what if you're not great with words? Like, how do you write this dispute?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's awesome about our research.
Yeah,
We
or-
actually have a sample dispute letter
Oh, wow.
that you can use.
That is awesome.
It's like a cheat sheet
I love a good cheat sheet.
that ensures your dispute is taken seriously.
That is a secret weapon.
It is.
Okay, so I sent off my dispute and all of my evidence.
Uh-huh.
Now what? Do I just sit here and wait?
Now it's the waiting game.
Okay.
So the credit bureau is legally required to investigate your claim within 30 to 45 days. Right.
So during that time, they'll contact the creditor who provided that info
Oh.
to verify if it's accurate.
So it's a financial investigation with the credit bureau as the mediator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're the neutral third party trying to figure out the truth.
Okay, so what happens at the end of all of this? Is it like a happy ending? Do all the errors just disappear?
Well, there's a couple possible outcomes.
Okay.
If they find that your error is legit, they'll correct it
Okay.
or remove it from your report,
Okay.
which is awesome because that'll help your score.
That's what we want.
But if they deny your dispute,
Uh-oh.
well, that's where it gets a little trickier.
So it's not always a perfect journey to a perfect credit report.
No.
But even if the dispute is denied, it's not the end of the road.
Nope.
Okay, good.
You still have options.
Okay.
We'll talk about those in a bit.
All right.
But I do want to emphasize that disputing errors is only one part of this.
Right.
Taking care of your credit report requires you to be proactive.
And there are things you can do to lower the risk of errors popping up in the first place.
Okay. I'm ready to be proactive.
All right. So one of the most important things is to regularly check your credit reports.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that.
Can't say this enough.
Okay.
Request those free reports
Yes.
from all three bureaus at least once a year, if not more.
It's like a free financial checkup.
It is.
Got to stay on top of it.
The earlier you catch those errors, the easier it is to fix them.
Okay, so regular checkups are going on the calendar right now.
Perfect. What else?
What-
Well, you also want to be super careful about paying your bills on time.
Oh, gosh, yes. Late payments are the worst.
They are. They can really hurt your credit.
Yeah. I've been guilty of missing a payment or two.
I think we all have at some point.
Right. Especially when you're juggling everything.
Yeah, it happens.
Thank goodness we have technology to help us out these days.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so what kind of technology are we talking about?
Automatic payments are a lifesaver.
Oh, yeah.
Set it and forget it.
Right. Just make sure everything is paid on time.
Exactly. And if you're more of a hands-on type of person,
Okay.
there are tons of budgeting apps that will send you reminders so you never miss a payment.
Okay, so whether I like to set it and forget it, or if I want to be more hands-on, there are ways to prevent those late payments.
Exactly. And late payments are one of the biggest things that hurt your credit score.
So paying those bills on time
Every time.
shows lenders that I'm reliable.
Exactly. It builds trust and shows you can manage your money.
And lenders like that.
They do. So let's talk about credit utilization.
Credit utilization always makes me a little confused.
Yeah, it's a little tricky.
Can we break it down?
Of course. So it's how much of your available credit you're actually using.
So it's not about how much debt I have, but like the percentage of my limit?
Exactly. Think of it like a pie.
Okay.
Your credit limit is the whole pie,
Right.
and credit utilization is how much of that pie you've eaten.
Okay, I like that.
The less you eat, yes. You want to aim to keep it below 30% on all your cards.
Okay, so the lower my utilization, the better, because it shows the lenders I'm not maxing out my cards and I'm using credit responsibly.
Exactly. And a high utilization makes it look like you're relying too much on credit.
And that makes me seem risky.
Risky. So it's not just about paying on time, but managing how much credit you're using.
Okay, I think I'm getting it.
Good. Any other tips?
Yeah, give me some more tips.
Okay, well, check your statements regularly
Okay.
and keep track of your balances. Some credit card companies even have alerts.
Oh, wow.
They'll let you know when you're getting close to your limit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That way you don't overspend.
Okay, so if I find myself with a really high utilization ratio, what can I do?
Well, you can try paying down your balances more aggressively.
So not just the minimum.
No, put some extra money towards it.
Okay.
That'll free up some credit and lower your ratio.
And then my score will go up.
Exactly. And another thing you can do is request a credit limit increase on one or more of your cards.
So that makes the pie bigger
Yeah.
without me actually having more debt.
Yeah. But be careful because sometimes that can trigger a hard inquiry on your report.
Oh, right. And that can hurt my score.
Yeah. So use that strategy sparingly.
So we've talked about disputing errors, avoiding late payments, and managing credit utilization.
We have.
I feel like I'm becoming a credit expert.
Awesome.
But before we wrap up, I want to talk about identity theft.
Yes. It's a serious issue.
It is. It can really hurt your financial well-being.
It can.
So we need to be aware of how to protect ourselves.
Absolutely. And the more we know,
The better.
the better prepared we are to fight back.
Exactly. So let's get into the nitty-gritty and talk about what identity theft can look like on our credit reports.
Okay. So imagine someone gets your social security number, your driver's license,
Yeah, oh no.
or bank account details.
Okay.
They can use that to open new accounts in your name, buy stuff,
Oh my God.
or even get into your accounts and take all your money.
It's like a financial twin that's trying to ruin my life.
It is, and it can happen in so many ways.
Okay.
Data breaches at big companies.
Right.
Phishing scams.
Okay.
Or even just someone stealing your mail or wallet.
Wow. So I can't just be careful online. I have to be careful everywhere.
Absolutely. These identity thieves are getting more and more clever.
So what can we do to protect ourselves? I'm kind of freaking out now.
We'll freak out.
Okay.
You don't have to live in fear.
Okay.
There are things you can do.
Give me all the tips.
Okay, so first, be super careful about sharing your personal information online.
Okay.
Don't give out your social security or bank account details unless you absolutely have to.
Okay.
And be wary of any emails or websites that seem suspicious,
Oh,
especially if they're asking for personal info.
okay.
Legitimate companies don't usually ask for that stuff through unsecured channels.
Right. If something seems off, it probably is.
Exactly.
Speaking of off, I should check my credit card and bank statement.
Yes, do that regularly.
Look for any charges that I don't recognize.
Yeah, even small charges can be a red flag.
So it's all about paying attention.
And you can also set up alerts
Oh, yeah.
with your bank and credit card companies.
Okay.
So they'll let you know if there's any unusual activity.
So they're like my financial watchdogs.
They are. And another thing,
Okay.
be mindful of your physical security too.
Oh, okay.
Shred any documents that have sensitive info before you throw them away.
Okay.
Be careful using public Wi-Fi.
Right.
And if you lose your wallet or your cards, report it immediately.
So it's being aware of my surroundings, both online and offline.
Exactly. And if you think you've been a victim of identity theft, don't panic.
Okay, don't panic. What do I do?
First, call your bank and credit card companies.
Okay.
Report the fraud and freeze your accounts.
Oh,
That will stop them from using your accounts.
what?
And then file a police report.
Oh.
That way there's a record of it.
Right.
And then you can contact the Federal Trade Commission.
The FTC?
Yeah, they can give you more guidance.
Okay. I'm feeling a little better knowing there are steps I can take to protect myself.
Good. It's about being informed and prepared.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. We've talked about understanding our credit reports,
Uh-huh.
disputing errors, preventing late payments, managing credit utilization, and even dealing with identity theft.
We have.
I'm feeling empowered to take control of my credit.
That's the goal. Remember, your credit report tells your financial story.
And I can change that story.
You can.
And knowledge is power.
It is.
I can use all the strategies we've talked about to reach my financial goals.
You got this.
So thank you for joining us on our credit report deep dive.
Of course.
We'll be back
And we
to
will.
continue this journey.
Remember, the journey to healthy credit is ongoing.
Yes.
So stay curious, stay informed, and keep learning.
Yes. We'll be back soon to finish up our deep dive.
See you then.
Welcome back to our credit report deep dive. Before the break, we were talking about what happens after you file a dispute with the credit bureaus.
Right.
Specifically, if your dispute is denied, it's not what we want to hear,
Definitely not.
but we got to be ready for anything.
Exactly. It doesn't always mean you'll win every dispute.
Right.
Sometimes the credit bureau might say no,
Oh, no.
even if you think the info is wrong.
So then what? Do I just give up?
Not so fast.
Mm-mm.
You have the right to appeal their decision.
Oh, okay.
That's where you got to really bring out the big guns.
Okay, what does that mean?
Gather up even more evidence
Okay.
and really make your case super strong.
So it's like a second chance to prove them wrong?
Yeah. Get any documentation you can find.
Okay.
Write a really clear explanation of why you think they messed up.
Right.
And send in your dispute again.
It's like taking my case to a higher court.
That's a great way to think about it.
I'm ready to fight for my financial freedom.
I love it. And if you still can't get the error fixed after all that,
Moaning.
you have another option.
Okay.
You can add a statement of dispute to your report.
A statement of dispute. What is that?
So basically, it lets you explain the error
Okay.
in your own words
Okay.
and give some context to anyone who might be looking at your report,
Oh, I see.
like lenders,
Okay.
so you can tell your side of the story.
So it doesn't remove the error,
No.
but it explains it.
Yeah, it gives the full picture.
Got it. Okay, so we've talked about how to fix errors and what to do if our disputes are denied.
Right.
But let's shift gears for a second
Okay.
and talk about how to prevent these errors in the first place.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah. How do we stop our credit reports from becoming a minefield of errors?
So a healthy credit report requires constant effort.
Okay.
You got to stay vigilant, but it's so worth it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Think of it like taking care of a garden.
Okay.
You have to weed out the problems
Okay.
and nurture it with good habits.
So what are my credit gardening tips?
Okay, the number one tip,
Yeah,
and I know we've said this before,
right.
check your reports regularly.
Yes.
Like at least once a year, if not more.
Like a financial health checkup.
Exactly. It's the best way to catch errors early.
Right, before they become a big problem.
Exactly. It's much easier to pull a weed when it's small.
That's a good analogy.
Right. Okay, next tip.
Okay, 30.
Be super careful about paying your bills on time.
Oh.
Late payments are like those pesky bugs that damage your plants.
And hurt my credit score.
Yep. I know I've been guilty of missing payments,
Oh, yeah, me too.
especially when life gets busy.
Right. But thankfully, we have technology that can help us stay organized.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so what kind of technology are we talking about?
Well, automatic payments are amazing.
Oh, yeah?
It's like having a personal assistant.
That makes sure I always pay my bills on time.
Exactly. And if you want to be more hands-on,
Right.
there are tons of budgeting apps
Okay.
that send you reminders.
Okay, so I can choose what works for me.
Exactly. That way you can avoid late fees.
And negative marks in my credit report.
Exactly. So payment history is a really big part of your score.
It is.
So even a few late payment can really drag it down.
So being consistent is important.
It shows lenders that you're responsible.
I like that.
Right. Okay, let's move on to credit utilization.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that before.
Briefly,
But I think it deserves more attention.
definitely, it's so important for your credit health.
Okay, so remind me what it is again.
It's how much of your available credit you're actually using
Okay.
at any given time.
Right, so it's not about how much debt I have,
No,
but what percentage of my limit I'm using.
you got it. Remember that pie analogy?
Oh, yeah, Okay, so I have a credit card with a $10,000 limit,
Okay.
and let's say I have a $3,000 balance.
Okay.
So my credit utilization would be 30%.
You got it. And you want to keep that percentage low,
Okay, lower the better.
below 30%
Okay.
on each card and ideally across all your cards.
So it shows lenders I'm not maxing out my cards.
Exactly. That makes you look really responsible.
And that's what we want.
Yeah. A high credit utilization.
Makes me look risky.
Risky. Like you're struggling to pay your bills.
Okay, I'm getting it. So paying on time is important,
Yeah.
but I also have to manage how much credit I'm using.
Exactly. You got to find that balance.
Okay, any other tips for managing my credit utilization?
Well, you can check your credit card statements
Okay.
and keep track of your balances.
Okay.
A lot of cards also have alerts.
Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah. They'll tell you if you're close to your limit.
Okay, so what if my utilization is already too high?
So you can pay down your balances more aggressively.
Okay, so pay more than the minimum.
Yeah. That'll lower your ratio.
Gotcha.
And another option is to ask for a credit limit increase
Oh, okay.
on one or more of your cards.
So that makes the pie bigger
Exactly.
without me having more debt.
Exactly. But be careful
Okay.
because that can sometimes trigger a hard inquiry.
Oh, right. And that hurts my score.
Yeah. So it's not a quick fix.
Okay, use it wisely.
Got it. So we've covered a lot today.
We have disputing errors,
Huh?
avoiding late payments,
Yep.
and managing credit utilization.
That's right.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to talk about identity theft again.
Yeah, we can't forget about that.
It's a big one, and it can really hurt us.
It can.
So we need to know how to protect ourselves.
Absolutely. And the more we know,
The better.
the better prepared we are.
Okay, so let's dive back into identity theft and what it looks like on our credit reports.
Okay, so imagine someone has your information,
Okay.
like your social security number,
Right.
your driver's license number, even your bank account info.
Okay.
They can use that to open new accounts.
In my name?
Yeah, buy stuff.
Oh, gosh.
Or even get into your existing accounts and drain your money.
It's a scary thought.
It is, and it can happen in so many ways.
Like what?
Data breaches, phishing scams,
Oh, right.
stolen mail, lost wallets.
So it's not just online.
No,
It's everywhere.
exactly. So you got to be careful both online and offline.
Okay.
Because identity thieves are always coming up with new tricks.
That's terrifying. What can I do to protect myself?
Okay, so first, be very careful about who you give your information to online.
Okay.
Don't share your social security number or bank info unless you absolutely have to.
Okay.
And be wary of any emails or websites that look suspicious,
Okay.
especially if they're asking for your personal info.
Gotcha.
Legitimate companies usually don't ask for that stuff through insecure channels.
Right. If it seems fishy, it probably is.
Exactly. And you should also check your statements often,
Okay.
both your bank statements
Yeah.
and your credit card statements.
Got it.
Look for any charges you don't recognize.
Okay. Even small ones.
Yeah, even small charges can be a warning sign.
So be vigilant.
And you can set up alerts.
Oh, right. We talked about that.
Yeah, with your bank and credit card companies.
So they can tell me if there's any suspicious activity.
Exactly. They're like your financial security team.
Okay, so online security is important,
Yes.
but what about offline?
So shred any documents
Okay.
that have sensitive info on them.
Okay.
Be careful about using public Wi-Fi. And report any lost or stolen cards right away.
So it's all about being aware of my surroundings, both online and offline.
Exactly. You got to be proactive.
Okay, so what if the worst happens and I find out someone has stolen my identity?
Okay, well, the first thing you want to do
Okay.
is call your bank and credit card companies.
Okay.
Report the fraud and freeze your accounts.
Okay, so stop them from using my accounts.
Yeah. And then file a police report.
Okay.
That way there's an official record of it.
Okay.
And you can also reach out to the Federal Trade Commission.
The FTC.
Yeah, they have tons of resources for victims.
Okay, I'm feeling a little more confident now, knowing that I can take action if something happens.
Good. You're not powerless.
Right. So we've talked about a lot today.
Uh-huh.
Understanding our credit reports, disputing errors,
Yeah.
preventing late payments,
Uh-huh.
managing credit utilization, and even dealing with identity theft.
That's a lot to cover.
It is, but I feel like I can handle it now.
Awesome. You're well on your way to becoming a credit expert.
I'm feeling empowered to take control of my credit.
That's what we like to hear. Remember, knowledge is power.
Yes.
Your credit report tells your financial story.
And I can change that story
Absolutely.
by being proactive and using these strategies.
You got this.
Okay, so thank you for joining us on our credit report deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll be right back
We will.
to finish up this journey.
Remember, the journey to good credit never really ends.
True.
So stay curious, stay informed, and keep learning.
We'll be back soon to wrap up our deep dive.
See you then.
We're back and ready for the final piece of our credit report puzzle. We've talked about fixing errors, preventing them, even protecting ourselves from identity theft. But what if we could boost our credit score without waiting?
Well, that's where becoming an authorized user can really help.
An authorized user? Okay, tell me more.
So it's basically a way to piggyback on someone else's good credit history
Okay.
by being added to their credit card account.
And how does that help my score?
So their good payment history, their credit limit, and how long they've had the card,
Okay.
it all gets added to your credit report.
Like it was my own account.
Exactly.
So it's like borrowing some good credit vibes.
I like that. But it's super important to be careful with this strategy.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. How do I do this responsibly?
Okay, first things first. You got to choose the right person.
Okay, so what kind of person am I looking for?
Someone with a long history of good credit,
Okay.
low credit utilization.
Okay.
Basically, someone whose good habits will rub off on your report.
But their bad habits would hurt me.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's like choosing a credit mentor.
Yeah. Someone you trust and whose financial habits you admire.
Gotcha.
And you got to have a clear conversation with them.
Okay, about what?
about expectations and responsibilities.
Okay, so like if I'm going to actually use the card.
Exactly. Or if you're just going to be an authorized user in name only.
Okay.
And communication is key.
Yeah, keep the lines open.
Make sure you're both on the same page.
Yeah. Okay. Authorized user noted. Wow. We have learned so much in this credit report deep dive. From feeling overwhelmed by those reports to feeling like I can take control.
It's all about knowledge.
It is.
And you have the power to shape your own financial story.
And I can use all these strategies to reach my financial goals.
Exactly.
So thank you, everyone, for joining us on this credit report deep dive.
It's been fun.
We hope you feel empowered to take control of your credit.
Remember, stay curious, stay informed, and never stop learning.
That's a wrap. Until next time, stay credit savvy.